Hello, my name is Van, and I'm in a band called Catfish and the Bottlemen. We've been together for about 8 years now. We were together about 7 years before we got a deal, really, or six and a bit years, and we're just like an old-fashioned group of lads, really, like an old-fashioned rock group. Like we've played every venue there is in England, like from 10 capacity to now 10,000. You know what I mean? We've played every step of the ladder. Like not just places like Manchester and Sheffield and Glasgow and stuff like that. It was on London. It was like the tiny places, like places bands don't normally go. We wanted to go to the places where people don't necessarily get bands, so that once it got a bit bigger, people would feel like inclined to come and drive to see us. You know what I mean? Because we'd, built up a legitimate fan base. So we've just been grafting at it for years. We're all like best mates, and like we're all from different parts of the country, and we just like got together when we were younger, and that was it. And just believed in it since we were kids, and that's all we ever wanted to do. So signing to Communion Day, it was right at the end. Like we've been in a band for so long, like I said, I've been in it since I was 14, and we had our own van and everything. We put everything we had into it. We had no money, but like every penny we had, we just spent on getting back on the road, like all into fuel and hotels or sleeping in the van or whatever. And they kind of came in when we were right at our like kind of breaking point, where it's like, oh, we've been doing this for so long, you know what I mean? Like, and we were doing well, we were selling out 150 caps, 200 caps on our own, like around the country, and that was with us looking after ourselves, with no management or no nothing really. And then we kind of got a management deal, and then like our managers just took us to a different level. And then Communion came in and saw us one night and in a tiny little club, and they said that because they were all a musicians run label, and like they'd been playing the night before, like a guy called Kev who'd come to see us, and he'd been playing in like the O2 Arena the night before, and we played this tiny little like the size of where we're sat now pretty much. And he was saying it sounded like you were playing the arena last night when we were in this room. So he signed us based on the fact that it felt like we could blow a room apart. Like that was what they kind of got off us really, and the songs, and it was just passion. You could tell we were passionate. Like as soon as they signed us, they asked me if we had 5 songs ready to like go in and record an EP, and I sent them like 120 songs, because from the age of 14 I wrote 3 songs a night every night, and I'd get rid of the worst 2, you know what I mean, and save 1. So we're just so passionate about it. And like I used to always hear stories about like the difficult second album and all that kind of thing, and I was like, writer's block isn't a thing, you know what I mean? There's no such thing. It's just a cigarette break to me, do you know what I mean? Until you go out, have 5 minutes to come back and try again and keep doing that. So we were just really passionate about it, and I think as soon as they came in about signing us, I was like, I promise you I'll work harder than any band that you've ever signed and any songwriter you've ever signed. And I said to him, I want to ruin like signing bands for you, because I want you to go see bands from the rest of your days now and go, they're good, but they're not going to work as hard as Catfish. No one can work as hard as them. So I wanted them to know how dedicated we were to them, because they saved our lives, you know what I mean? They gave us a lifeline. We were nothing. If the band would have fell through, we would have been nothing. So, we're still keeping our fingers crossed really and grafting at it. We played like a few shows around England, like kind of small shows, and we used to say to the crowd, like meet us at the back of the bar. We play like maybe like 10 different songs every night and say meet us at the back and tell us which songs you thought were garbage and which you thought were good, and people would come up and would be like, please don't put that on the album, that one's terrible, but that one's good. And like, so we did a lot of that with like the people, because it meant a lot, because I always thought if the people who come to see us pick their track listing, then they're going to buy it, and then we're going to be rich, and then we can buy our mum's big jacuzzis and stuff, do you know what I mean? So like we can't, like, I was only joking about that, but we kind of just let the fans pick it, like we try to get people involved as much as we can. So we just kind of based it on years of playing and seeing what people reacted to best, and we actually saved a load of songs that we thought were better than the stuff we put out. We just, because we've got so much banked up, everything's saved. I've got songs that I'm still like, I'm saying that, oh no, people are going, why are you not putting that one out yet? And I'm like, that's the second song on the 3rd album. No, I've got that planned, that's ready, you know what I mean? And we're prepared for it. Like the second album I finished, I'm not supposed to start writing it till April. The record company have got me a month off to write in April, and I finished writing it before we'd finished recording the first one. So that like, I just want them to know we're serious, you know what I mean? So when they ring up in April, I'm going to be like, can you fly me to a place like this? Because I need to get some ideas together, and then I'll just come to your big house here and I'll just sit in your garden all day and just smoke and listen to the birds and stuff. It'd be great. Kathleen is like she's the reason you start drinking and the person you phone when you're drunk. Do you know what I mean? So she's like, oh, I'm getting out of the house for a bit, I'm going drinking, you're driving me crazy. And then you get to like 3 in the morning, like, baby, I love you, I'm so sorry. And it's like that kind of to and fro with kind of someone you're infatuated with, but it's not necessarily the best way for you. Do you know what I mean? We've all been there, you've all been there. You know what I mean? So it's just about that really, that kind of to and fro, old school British songwriting, I guess. The lads are quite good at it, but I hate being in the studio. Like I never got into a band to sell albums or get in the charts or anything. It was always about the gigs. Like I always just wanted to play football stadiums, you know, like the gigs I grew up watching were like, you know, going to see Oasis in front of like 60,000 people, or the Arctic Monkeys, or like Stone Roses or somebody like that. And like kids like who were like, when I was 16, I had like Arctic Monkeys, but they were still not Oasis, but I had my own little band. And like I think it's been too long since a band's kind of come out with that kind of attitude and wanted to make this kind of massive circus for 16-year-old kids to go again. And I remember going to see them gigs and going, oh, I want to start a band, or like I want to grow my hair, or I want a leather jacket, or do you know what I mean? And I don't think there's been a band in a long time that's come out and said that they wanted to, you want to play football stadiums, you know what I mean? And just it's just about, for me, just this massive gathering of people, and just everyone kind of putting their tools down, and if everyone's got dead end jobs and stuff like that, they can just go somewhere for the weekend and just lose it, you know what I mean? Put their best mate round them and girlfriend on their shoulders, or like with their dad or whatever, because I used to go see gigs like that with my dad and just kind of blow everyone's head off, really. That's what we always wanted to do. Like when we first started, we used to, because we were like so driven about getting the music out, we weren't like settling for like people to come and knock on our door. We were like banging down doors, and we used to go to people's gigs and like leave festivals a day early. Like whilst everyone was still in their tent, I'd put like a CD on every car in the car park, so when people drove home they'd have a new band to listen to. Or we'd wait outside the venues in the rain and just stand there all day when people were leaving a gig, just giving CDs out and stuff. So it was never about selling music or getting rich or getting on the telly and stuff like that. It was just about that gig football stadium. So that's just been the drive since day one, really. Hello, my name is Van from Catfish and the Bottlemen, and you're watching GRAMMY Pro. Boom!